all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Say we all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Come on, I said we all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Say we all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Come on, I said we all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Come on, y'all. Woo. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. What I'm talking about. Says we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. I said we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. Yeah, we all do better when we all do better. You can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Say we all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Come on, I said we all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. We all do better when we all do better. We can't get better than that. Come on, y'all.
We are here to hang out and talk with you. We got a special guest coming on pretty soon tonight, Fahim Majid, who did the artwork that you see on the cover of No Time for Enemies, our latest album that went to #1 on the Bluegrass charts. And Fahim did the cover with us, so he's going to break it down. We're going to get to talk to him about some of the ideas behind it that maybe not everybody will know. So yeah. It's going to be another fun Friday night with the crew. Of course, send in your questions and comments in the chat, and we will respond to you. Let us know what you want to talk about tonight, and especially any questions about the cover of No Time for Enemies.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned to me
if you had fun sounding it out, our album title is Antifa.
Illuminati confirmed. Yes, it's finally time for us to reveal to you that we are the Illuminati. It's all real.
It was all us.
Real.
Actually, it was funny. My man's the guys that do the Serious Rap Sheet podcast. They have a new hoodie that says "Backpack Illuminati." It's kind of dope.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
He's begging for me to buy that one.
Oh, snap.
Backpack Illuminati, dude. They was like, we're gonna make this one for Rand.
Had my government on there. All right, that's what's up. Yo, so what y'all been up to this past week or so? I heard some things went down.
They're slinging these rocks.
Indeed. But we are happy to report that an amazing clogging crew in North Carolina chose to use our music for their segment in the Parade Across America that was broadcast along with the inauguration. And I was touched and humbled and proud to have our music chosen by a clogging team in North Carolina. That's so cool. And
that's so random, dude.
Big shout out to the High Country Cloggers tonight for bringing it.
I was gonna ask, Wrench, do you have any backstory as to how that happened? I mean, we are the Illuminati here. You know, we pull all strings, we control all things. But I didn't even really know that was going to happen until like very late in the game.
Nobody did. I got an email a couple days before that saying, this is the inauguration, folks, and we need to clear the rights to this song so that it can be used behind these cloggers. And I was like, okay. And that's the full amount of the story that I got.
Okay, well, I mean, have we not even... Was that from the inauguration people? Because we should reach out to the cloggers.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to get in touch with them for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do that right now.
That was bizarre. That was just like, wait, what? What's happening now? Who's gonna do what? Oh, okay. Sure. I'm with that. I'm not even mad at that.
That's cool, and it was cool too. I mean, the whole thing was cool. Like I was telling somebody about it, and they were like, "Oh, was that the one with the platform?" Because like that, it was a very well shot. Not to diss anybody else, but some of them were just like, I don't know, in front of some like power line towers, or like in the middle of a flat field, or just somewhere on a street, and then they've just got this like Blue Ridge Mountains, helipad or some nonsense. I don't know, like they must have built that for clogging or something. That was a very cool spot. It was an extremely cool spot. Like
that would be very specific.
I would put a super laser there, like a big super weapon to like overlook a town and just like boo boo boo, kill, just massive destruction. That's the mounting pad that I would use for my super weapon. It was very.
I think that's what it was going to be used for.
Yeah. Then they decided this is now the clogging pad of the mountain.
Yeah, which is a a step, maybe a step down. I don't know. Step up, step down. Depends on who you ask. I guess
stepping down and up, but in a sort of a synchronized stepping and rhythmic.
So bad.
Yeah, so they use it for clog dancing and Illuminati sacrifices.
Yeah. and clogging is cool, just sort of getting into like the roots of bluegrass music, at least. Just the basic hit. If people aren't familiar with clogging, it's kind of like, or also known as flat footing, or a couple other names, but it's one of those folk traditions that kind of like bluegrass music and the old Scots-Irish fiddle tunes that came over into the Appalachian Mountains. So it really, it kind of goes directly back to like Irish.
Coconut scented with mango flavor.
Coconut
Never-
soup with mango flavor.
Thank
never
you,
gets old.
Noli.
What happened? I
Yeah,
don't know.
It's always kind of weird.
Thank you, Molly.
No,
Oh,
hey.
okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Anyway, yeah. Clogging is dope. That was my whole point. Clogging is dope. It was cool that we were associated with that. You know?
Yeah, for sure. It still blows me away sometimes when just like all of a sudden, somebody out there is like, we are using Gangstagrass.
Because you know what?
No.
You know what would fit right here perfectly? Some bluegrass hip hop. Let's see if we can find. Oh wait, here it is. This will work perfectly.
we all were sitting there, by the way, during the actual inauguration ceremony, and we all were sitting there. It's one thing to watch Garth Brooks, and I'm like, all right, Garth Brooks. I mean, okay, we could have done that, but it's fine. Him do it, and then have J-Lo come up, and no disrespect to J-Lo, first of all, no disrespect, and she killed it, and Lady Gaga killed it. But if you're really gonna get up there and do "This Land Is Your Land," I mean,
It might as well be the
we
Gangstagrass
we could have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just not everybody in the world knows about what went down at Town Hall. And
No. I don't buy that. They had access. They had full access, dude.
This is the
They
government.
knew. They had full
The
access.
government is trying to suppress.
I guarantee you they
my
knew.
theory is
And we did it with the blessing of Woody Guthrie's descendants,
Mhm.
Oh man.
and including one of
Woody's got three descendants. Like,
Yeah, man.
I guarantee they had full access to everything. Somebody could have said, yo, let's get Gangstagrass and Brandy up here to do the whole song. No, they chickened out. I like to hope, though, that had there been a full inaugural thingamerhoozits, they might have done something.
Yeah, it would have definitely went down.
If they had us there, like some people's heads would have literally exploded, and it just would have been a bad look. They're trying to not have that happen.
No, not have explosions.
Yeah, it would have marred the event. So
You're right.
I
You're right.
understand
I
it.
see
I'm
that.
gonna mop up all the brains.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we don't want.
I see that. You're right.
No, it's cool. No, they did a great job. I thought it was a great ceremony all the way through. Parade was great. Whole thing was great.
Gaga had a giant bird on her shirt.
Yo, for real. I was like, which district was she representing?
Did anybody see the
It's very hot today. Indeed.
somebody put together a video of everybody talking like at the whole thing, and since you couldn't see anybody's lips, they were just. I think it was Finesse Mitchell was doing everybody's voices. Hillary Clinton was looking for Bill the whole time, and Lady Gaga was like, "That bird poop. That's not from my bird. That was from the real bird. That's not my bird." Yo, it was hilarious, dude. It was so.
That was already.
That was already. Yeah, yo, but it did look like she was wearing a full red wedding dress because it was like really big. She was knocking people down with it. It was she went hard on that.
Yo, she went full Katniss.
Yeah. It was very Hunger Games.
Why
The
does
last thing I'm
Hunger
gonna
Games
say
keep coming up
is that
today?
Michelle Obama looked like an empress from another planet that came down representing her whole galactic empire to hang out with these piddly humans.
Mhm.
Like, I don't even know if anybody's allowed to wear purple anymore after that. Like,
Yo,
that
really?
was, I'm like, all right, you know what?
She
that's
came out
nuts.
with her own Isaac Hayes theme music.
It looked almost as swanky as Bernie Sanders.
Yo, yeah, Bernie rolled up like he had places to go.
Yeah.
That's what he was like. Y'all done? Because I gotta.
Well,
We're
the thing
gonna
is,
do this thing.
in all honesty, he was dressed like a guy of his age would be in that kind of weather.
True.
He
It's
was
true.
like, "Yo, it's mad cold out here."
I heard somebody.
He was wearing the Jordan 1s,
Yeah.
and he was gonna go hoop afterwards.
Bernie. He was like, "Yo, hurry up, man! I'm late for the court."
Somebody
I
made
got a
the
3-on-3
joke,
after this.
Somebody made the joke though that yeah, of course he's dressed up for the cold. It was minus 45.
Oh.
Yeah.
But of course, the big star of the show was the poet, Amanda
Amanda
Gorman.
Gorman.
Oh yeah, she had
Right.
bars.
Bars.
Uh,
That was man. I've been telling people that all week. Like, nah, that was a hip hop show.
Yeah.
we'll play at her inauguration. I believe she has plans to run in 2036.
She got my vote.
I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she would have taken the mic off the Joe and drop it. Like, peace.
roll up on Joe like, yo, I'm gonna let you finish, but
Yeah, right. Hold on. I got another one. Let me get on this real quick.
Look at me. I'm the president now.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I challenge you to a rhyme off.
Chief Justice Roberts would have been like, hey, you know what? Here, come here. We're gonna do this. Here.
It's the law.
and the crowd parts, and then Al
Not even
Sharpton rolls out.
Yeah, she did that hard. That was magnificent.
Straight bars.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's an MC right there. That was Cyrock. That was a Kid in the Room. Like that was
our son, the voice of reason.
Oh.
No.
That was like there was steam coming off that mic when she was done.
Yeah, she murked that hard, dude. I was so impressed with her. She did that like it was. Yeah, I hope y'all don't mind y'all doing your little celebration real quick. I'm gonna just come in here. Boom! Like she could have kicked the podium over and it'd be like, yeah, all right, you can do that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is your show, ma'am. You just go ahead and do what you're gonna do. She did that. That was so impressive. It was so very impressive. Trying to hang out with her. Like, yo, you trying to get on one of these tracks real quick?
It's important, you know. I mean, like we didn't even. She's the first youth poet laureate, but we've only barely had, poets. I was listening to a show on like the significance of that. I think it was, Robert Frost at JFK's inauguration or something like that.
Yo, B Frost destroyed that microphone, dude.
He a little bit did, but it was actually kind of nuts because the poem that he was reading was like America was ours before we even got here.
Oh god.
It was look it up, and then people were talking about like, oh, maybe it's satirical. I'm sure he was just poking some fun, and I mean, no, it kind of reads like some pretty entitled, white European colonial like. One day we will discover this land, and then we will own it. In fact, we already own it, and we're not even there yet. So, woo!
Yeah.
You know what, though?
At least it was a poet. I think before that, they just had somebody get up and recite a limerick.
There once was a man from Nantucket. Get him off the stage.
Oh man.
It's okay. He went to Mar-a-Lago. Actually, do we know where Trump went?
Well, he went back to hell.
No, but like
He bounced so hard.
it's it's challenging to not like you want to compare things because it's like day one of the administration and we're like, all right, things are different from what? Okay, different from but like if part of the problem was that like we fed oxygen to the flame, I think part of the solution is going to have to be cutting off some oxygen for a while and just not even not talking about the guy too much.
Talking about what guy?
Yeah.
No, yeah. We don't even mention his name. I'm like,
Did y'all see my new hashtag? Hashtag reclaiming orange.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, like,
Very nice.
right. Orange is going right back to Tang.
Yeah. Hey,
And
let's not hate on Tang, folks. Come on.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm not hating on
No,
Tang.
no.
You ever had a Tang sandwich?
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
Dry. That's gonna be dry as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta moisten the bread first with a little butter.
Is
You
this
put
like
butter
a-
first, a
Is
little
this
bit
like
of butter, then a
Filipino
little
thing?
bit of Tang.
Okay, but Dolio, seriously, like Filipino cooking, like I think there's a bunch of dishes where the meat, like the chicken or pork or whatever, would be marinated in like I don't know, Coca-Cola or like some kind of soft drink. I'm pretty sure that Tang has been used in like some serious cooking.
Maybe. I know I made.
Find out.
On the space station.
Coming up on an episode of Hanging with Gangstagrass soon is Cooking with Tang.
Cooking with
Let you
Tang.
know what we find out.
Yeah. Yep.
That sounds horrible.
Man, I want to say when the three latest comments on Facebook are about how at the ceremony Robert Frost couldn't read the planned poem because of the glare from the sunlight. Anyone remember Grape Tang and just stop giving money to corporate America, which I think is a pretty good summary and indictment of like the kind of conversation that we have here at Gangstagrass. Thank you so much.
Wait, there was Grape Tang?
I remember Grape Tang. I don't know why, but there was. Yeah.
Why would Grape Tang exist?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, it just sounds like they had too much time.
Welcome, Raiders.
Tang was making a lot of money, and they had a little bit of extra money. They were like, "Yo, what if we tried another flavor? See if you can develop that." And
Here in the R&D.
They were like, okay, here. They were like, okay, bear with me now. What if Tang was Kool-Aid?
I don't. You want to try? I mean, we got a little couple extra.
All right,
let's do it.
Ted.
Boom.
They originally wanted to call it Purple Drink.
What they failed to understand was that Tang is already orange drink. You can't have orange drink, purple drink. You can't have
That's what
that.
they should call it. I would love that.
Yeah, because Tang is definitely its own flavor.
Right.
It's not. It's what flavor is it? It's Tang.
It's Tang flavor.
It's not. Yeah.
It's kind of tangy.
It's, the taste of being an astronaut.
Is that what
Tang. We put the ass in astronaut.
Oh,
Do you remember astronaut ice cream?
For what?
Astronaut ice cream, that like vaguely styrofoamy stuff that you would get at the National Air and Space Museum.
Yeah, I grew up in DC sleeves. I
The
definitely.
secret is that it was actually styrofoam, and they just told you it was astronaut ice cream. They were like, we got to get rid of some of these packing peanuts.
Great idea. Hey kid, come over here. Gee, mister. No, but it was really good. It was really good.
Sugar on them. Eat it.
I actually the first time I visited there's this local brewery here in Jersey, and the first time I visited there, and they're known for like doing really wild beers, and I visited there, and I was just like walking through the brew area, and I was just like, wait, why do you have so many astronaut ice cream sandwiches? And why are you opening them all? And why are you putting them in the brew kettle? So they made
Wait, what?
They made a beer. It was called Cosmonaut because it was an imperial stout. It was a Russian imperial stout, and so they called it Cosmonaut. And it was incorporating the astronaut ice cream sandwiches, and it was it's a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich. So it's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. And in an imperial stout, I tell you what, that thing was rocket fuel. It was amazing. It was delicious.
Wait, so was
Interesting.
I
would
suppose
that
if
be a
you
cosmopolitan style?
right.
Coconut scented with mango flavor.
That's what it was. It was
Thank you,
coconut.
that's what it was.
You said cosmopolitan. You really did that, didn't you? You really did that. That is very, very good. That's on there's gonna be people thinking about that one for years.
I don't know.
Like somebody's gonna be watching this 5 years from now and be like, "Yo, we just said cosmopolitan." Oh, yeah, it's gonna be bananas.
Wait, Pillsbury space food sticks? What was that?
What?
See, I grew up in the country, so we didn't get a lot of that stuff. Y'all had all these fancy desserts.
Like the Pillsbury space food sticks? I don't think that was a thing.
I don't remember that one. No.
I don't think. I mean, it might be in on the space station. I have not been there.
Can I ask a quick question? What's one thing that, like, this is for everybody, what's one thing that your parents told you was a thing, but you later realized was a lie?
My dad told me it was illegal to drive with the lights on in the car.
That's pretty good.
He'd be like, "Yo, turn the light off. It's illegal. You're gonna get me arrested." I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Wow, that's good. My
And
mom.
I'm like, "Wait, you're a cop, but you whatever." That's what you said. I'm gonna turn it off.
He would know.
Exactly. I was like, "Well, obviously he knows."
I might tell that to Pharaoh next time we're driving somewhere.
Yeah, you could
I
tell
can't
Pharaoh
even-
that like half the things that he does are illegal.
Right, wouldn't phase it. We'd be like, it'll be fine.
Pharaoh, no.
They're not gonna mind.
I
My
feel deprived. My mom always kept it 100.
Okay.
really? Okay, so my
Yeah.
my mom
She
told
didn't even lie to me
me.
about Santa Claus. She's like, no, your mama bought that.
That's fair, yeah. I was
So
just
you
wondering about
never,
Pillsbury space sticks.
you never had Santa Claus, D? That was never a thing.
I don't remember it ever being a thing, really, other than a thing that the kids talked about. I always, because I was in the projects, it seemed kind of creepy to have some dude break in your house.
Yeah.
Point.
And it's dangerous. It's dangerous to think to let you grow. It's dangerous to have your kids believing some dude is going to break in your house and leave you presents.
Okay, fair
Right.
point. Fair point. So my mom told me that she could tell I had to pee because my eyes would turn yellow.
That's not true.
It took years before I finally looked in the mirror when I had to pee to see if that was like to see my eyes yellow, and I was like, they're not yellow. Wait, she totally lied to me.
You should have like at least put another lie on there and be like, yeah, but the thing is that moms have an extra set of rods and cones that allow you to see the yellow tinge in your eyes when you gotta pee. And-
Or she could have said, "No, you've had a lot. You've had a lot of water, so it's not going to be real yellow. You know how sometimes it's very clear."
Right?
you got clear pee.
Check it out. Suze is on the Facebook feed, and she actually found the recipe for Pillsbury space sticks
What?
at cooks.com.
Huh.
So,
Wait, so what
so
is
what
a
are
space
they?
stick?
Yeah, what are we talking about? What is it?
Yeah, I thought that was something we had just made up.
Is that anything like space cake?
Oh.
Because I've had that.
Yeah, just made that up.
I've had that a few times, actually. Probably more than a few, but
Some well-timed nom nom noms there.
yeah. 3 cheers for space cake.
So she makes space food sticks with crunchy peanut butter, powdered milk, wheat germ, gelatin, honey, and salt.
Huh.
I was on board until we got to the gelatin, and then I was like, I don't really know what we're doing here.
Nah, I was lukewarm until we got to the gelatin. Now I'm in.
No, you know what that was? That was, let's see what's in this cabinet.
Yeah.
That's a
It
great way
tasted
to
like power bars. They were awesome.
I like that the
Tom is
ingredients
saying.
are literally mixed together. The ingredients, cut in the peanut butter, add the honey, shape into quote space sticks. I'm just like, what's that shape?
You know,
Why don't
space
you know?
sticks.
The shape of space. That's what it is.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. It's funny though when the lies that the parents tell you get revealed, but you still interpret it like the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
Like the story about the kid who, lost a tooth and was all excited for the tooth fairy to come in and give the money, and woke up just as her dad was putting the money under the pillow. Conclusion was not that the tooth fairy doesn't exist. Conclusion was that she just happened coincidentally through luck to be the daughter of the tooth fairy.
Oh,
My
Very nice.
dad is the tooth fairy, and she started telling her friends at school, and her friends were like, "Oh my God, your dad's the tooth fairy!" And her friends, she would have play dates, and her friends would be like starstruck when they came over. With
Oh,
their
wow.
dad. Oh my God, it's the tooth fairy.
amazing.
That's amazing.
How did you guys find out? Okay, so we know how Dolio found out that there was no tooth fairy and no Santa Claus. That just was not a thing in his house.
Hold
But
on,
how
Dolio didn't say that there was no tooth fairy.
was there a tooth fairy, Dolio?
Wait, the tooth fairy's not real?
Mm-mm. It's terrible.
No, we did have the tooth
Who
fairy.
was that weird man in my house taking my son's teeth then?
Coconut scented with mango flavor.
Keep it coming.
No, I think we did have tooth fairy. I don't remember when I found out about tooth fairy.
Interesting.
I think it was when I think what happened is I got suspicious when the amount of money went up.
Oh,
Yeah, it went from like a quarter to like one time I got like $5 for a tooth, and I was like, "What's going on here?"
That inflation.
I was like,
Maybe it was a really good tooth.
Yeah,
Tooth Fairy
exactly.
just walking around with paper money.
Like a bicuspid or something.
I don't know, for some reason a Tooth Fairy having paper money I became skeptical about it.
It's always got to be coins, right? It's always got to be coins.
Hell
It's always got to
no.
be coins.
I would get
Really?
20s.
Yes.
I would get 20s.
No, I know when you're a kid, there's something magical about coins. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, man. Especially
Joker.
If you
really
expect them to be
coins.
showing up like a little satchel,
Paper's
like-
not real money. Coins are real money.
right?
like a 50-cent piece, you know, or like 50 cent. I think was the best way to go. You know.
Well, he was the
Those-
best Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I want to point out, as Fahim is joining us, I want to point out somebody in the comments said, Tooth Fairy, biggest lie ever.
Because
Now, I know that Donald Trump is no longer president, and we're entering a new era. But still, I feel like saying that the Tooth Fairy is the biggest lie ever.
Right, after the last 4
skips
years.
over some other lies that have happened.
The thing is, we have the thing is that in our house we have the Tooth Fairy and El Ratoncito, which is like this little mouse that brings the money. The Tooth Fairy brings you like
that makes a lot more sense. Makes a lot more sense.
I don't understand it either, but the Tooth Fairy brings you like toothbrushes and floss and stuff like that.
Well, that's
Interesting.
nice.
Okay.
Tito
That
is
works.
the one that brings you the money.
Remind me
Good.
to tell you guys later about the Tooth Fairy test. Hi, Fahim. How you doing?
What's happening?
Hey, how y'all
Hey,
doing?
guys.
What's going
How
on?
are you?
That's
good, man.
Gangstagrass in the house.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome.
hmm
What's going on?
You all right with this madness you just walked into?
Yeah,
Fairies,
talking
we're
about,
talking
tooth
about
fairies.
Tooth Fairies.
You know, hey, I'm down. You know,
How you been, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to y'all. Happy New Year to y'all too. How's it going?
We are,
We're hanging in there.
Still in
man.
our houses.
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
breathing
Y'all have
through.
better backgrounds, and y'all got like better backgrounds than me. It's like a color coded
Yeah.
thing going on.
Yeah.
Me and Art, yeah. No, we just
Yeah,
keeping it
listen.
real.
Mine doesn't even. I'm not at home. Mine doesn't even work at home. My computer's like, no, I'm not dealing with that. And then I got to put up my green screen. All that. I'm just like,
Yeah, plus you're wearing like a green sweatshirt.
Mm.
actually, you know what was cool? This would you have the sweatshirt's gray, so it would just like ain't no half stepping would have in the image on it, which would be kind of
That'd be
cool.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fahim, I mean, you should definitely have a good backdrop because you're the artist. I mean, for
Right.
context,
Yeah.
everybody, this is if you like our album, No Time for Enemies. If you like the album art, this is the man right here. So. just
Yeah, that was
everybody say
fun.
thank
Oh
you.
yeah, there we go. Look at that. Yeah, I should have that up. That's
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that was fun. That got me through a rough patch. Well, you know, it just kind of got me being creative again. So as I'm glad you guys are happy with it, but it also kind of got me out of my basement to do some stuff. So it was a pleasure to do it.
That's great.
Sweet.
That's really good.
Yeah, and we ended up coming to you because we got into a spot talking about our album art with the idea of OSB board, which we were right in the middle of the pandemic, businesses closing down, also some racial justice uprisings happening. So a lot of this boarding up going on around lots of people's cities,
Right.
having this board around that was just kind of like the backdrop of the time. And it was a keyboard that has these little patches going in different directions. So it was the backdrop of the time, and it also struck us as something of a good metaphor because it's stronger because it's got pieces that are going in different directions. It's not all uniform.
Right.
It's
Right, it's a
actually
form
Right.
of plywood,
Okay.
right? It's a form of plywood where it's layers, and then with the
Mhm.
OSB, I mean, it's literally oriented strands, and
Yep.
and it's just sort of randomized, and through that, it ends up just coming together and being stronger, and it can even kind of be beautiful. And you'd worked a lot with this stuff.
Yeah, you guys need to write my labels for me, my art labels. That's the most poetic I've heard anyone talk about it. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, we came to you because once we started talking about that, somebody realized, there's this artist that's already making stuff with
Yeah.
OSB. So we checked it out and was like, well, we should just hop on that and have him do the album cover.
Yeah, the guy Michael Rakowitz kind of approached me. Really, shout outs to him. He's an amazing artist. But his wife is actually an art critic. So as he was talking about this idea of OSB, she had just done a write-up for one of my shows and said, well, you know, that's what Fahim is really into these days, thinking about that OSB kind of pattern and material. For me, the reason how I kind of attracted to it, I live on the south side of Chicago, and on the west and south side, that kind of material goes up on a lot of buildings. And it's kind of the patina of something, you know, when you see too much of that material, you know something's going on in the neighborhood. And whereas, you know, you might see that vacant properties, they're actually not vacant. They're kind of like a cocoon. I mean, it's like when the boards come down, when you don't see the boards and you just see burnt out buildings, then that's like abandonment. But someone put that up because they cared enough to keep it, and they realized that there's value there. Whereas most people see it as not being valued. So, but when I saw it, I saw like a sun bleach. You know how you go and you see a tag, and then that kind of browns out, or it's kind of gray and brown. So going into the museums, I would see abstract painting like Jackson Pollock and Jasper Johns and all these artists. And then I'd go in the neighborhood and see that same pattern popping up everywhere. So I always saw them as colorful paintings, but I'll see some like sun bleach thing with a blue kind of painted over, and I'd be like, oh, me and my wife I get out the car, and I'd be like, oh, look at how the sun is like doing that. And she'd be like, why don't you get in the car? Because we should probably not be out here doing this right now. Like, you know?
I love it.
So I would take that, originally I would take that, pieces of that, and then I would put it in the museum and maybe etch something into it, and then the value shifts. So it's only when you put it from one space, you take it from a neighborhood that's kind of seen as maybe in transition, and then you put it in a museum, now all of a sudden it's valuable, and it starts to be in conversation with painting. And that becomes a metaphor for people too. So now I kind of make my own versions of it, actually pulling in actual colors so people can actually see what I've always seen. So I love that material a lot. And to your point, they're going up everywhere. So they're not just on the south or the impoverished areas that are being gentrified or being kind of left in stasis. Now they're in the richest. They're on Michigan Avenue. They're on the Mag Mile here in Chicago, most expensive. You see them everywhere on the most expensive stores. So yeah, it was good timing. I mean, that was right on point. That's what I was thinking when we discussed it. So
Incredibly powerful.
And I don't know if y'all know this, and I should show y'all this.
Yeah.
The figures that I made of y'all from that picture, that's not a drawing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, you can.
So those are all tiny little wood chips that I was in my studio like this, and the wind would blow, and it would just kind of blew away.
Yeah, we noticed it when we zoomed in on it. We were like, yo, this is like the images themselves of the people are also the OSB.
Yeah. Really sick. I probably could have just actually done that like in Photoshop. I didn't think about it until after I did it, and then it all blew away. Like, so I don't like. It's just like it wasn't glued. It was just laid down. So I just did it in pieces and stitched it all together.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. That's amazing.
Something, man. And
I'll share with you the files later on of how I took them. Like I took like one person's pants and another person's guitar, and I'll show you all the individual files.
About the pants.
Yeah. Well, there's only so many colors. I had to make some. I had to take some. Put some sunglasses on people and visors and stuff.
Nice.
Yep. We're actually we're messing around with that a little bit for maybe some hoodie design or something like the silhouette.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
I'll wear that.
Yeah. Sweet.
I love what you said about the fact that this OSB, it could either go on a building that is being intentionally renovated, so it functions as like a cocoon, or a building that's just being, I don't know, neglected basically, and just left to be condemned and vacated. And then, I mean, on top, like that's such a radical difference of value, I guess. And then on top of that, you can take it and contextualize it and put it into a museum, and the value changes again. I mean, a lot of that, to me, like there's virtually nothing is different about the board itself. It just is about perspective. It's about what value do you place on that. And I mean that, it totally applies to people. I feel like we see that a lot in our conversations about just the way that we think about each other and the way that we think about people, and like what's the value there.
Yeah, so another iteration that I did where I started making my own. I was invited to do a show at the Chicago Cultural Center, which is like the government kind of building for culture. And they have a gallery in there that is these massive, like maybe 40, 50-foot windows, kind of arched in a way. And they're really beautiful. But I took my material and basically covered it to cover the arch. And what was really interesting is when you come in, it looks like a stained glass window to some people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other people, they said, man, you just boarded up a government building. So depending on, once again, what your, depending on what your perspective is, they're both right. But that pattern means something different to different people. So it was really nice seeing people come in and kind of get the idea of boarding up a government building. I don't even think they understood what was happening. They just saw the pretty colors and got excited. And I said, well, I actually just, okay, we boarded up a window. They didn't really catch that. So yeah, that's kind of nice. I like playing around with that. Yeah. How's the tour? Well, how y'all doing? I mean, like, performers are just. I mean, I'm in a collective with a musician, mainly our young, and just watching him kind of go through this right now, like concert dates and things like that. How y'all holding up?
We're just missing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it kind of feels like we're in exile in some sort of way. Like we can't get back to our home, which is being on stage and being out and performing for people directly.
I drink a lot now.
It's all coffee
Mango water.
and fizzy seltzers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Fizzy seltzer habit. Yeah, I mean, I think what you said is true. Like the working on this album, I think for us too was really just something to hold on to, something to focus on. You know, like if you're able to work on a recorded project, that's something that we can do. We can do this. I mean, I think this live stream as a group has kind of kept us feeling connected, and sane. That's helped.
Yeah. There's no, right now we really don't know when shows will start again. You know, it's all up in the air and everything is still developing. You know, it's great that the vaccines are getting out and hopefully the rollout will start going better. You know, but as we've talked about many times on this live stream, the vaccine does not prevent people from getting the virus. It doesn't prevent people from transmitting the virus.
Right.
So until there's really a real massive amount of vaccination that has happened, that's going to be a thing. And then, you know, who knows what's happening with the new variants. So it's just also up in the air.
Are y'all like taking any, like, because I know a lot of people are doing things online or like even with my partner, we're thinking about like more edited versus just doing live online, actually thinking about more edited content as well. Are y'all kind of like leaning? I always try to lean into the limitations and things like, well, if this was the ideal situation, how would I do that? So, I mean, how are y'all?
Yeah, we've had a variety of approaches to it. Some of it has been like edited material where we do our parts and then just kind of mix it all together and then edit it together. On more than one occasion, we've basically assembled at a rally point, usually right out in front of my house, and just perform in the middle of the street and then film
That's
it.
dope.
And then, you know, and then just broadcast that filmed performance, you know. So it's
y'all are all in New York, right?
No.
Where y'all at?
I'm the one in New York.
You're in Brooklyn.
I'm in Brooklyn.
You're in New York. So when you converge, what do you mean you converge? Like, where's that convergence happening? Are y'all
Philly.
like, where are y'all?
Philly's the midpoint. Pharaoh, the fiddle player's down in Baltimore.
Okay.
You know, and then we stretch up to Brooklyn and have both MCs are already located in Philly, and Dolio's block is a great spot to, you know, to do this. But you can really see like what kinds of things we've had to do over the course of the long-term lockdown. So, right, the Video for Freedom, which was video clips and introduced by our son, walking basically in his own neighborhood. And then Ride With You, where, Ain't No Crime, where you had different people dancing all in different places, and that all got put together. Ride With You, which was basically one of our lockdown live sets where everybody was in boxes like this, and that all got put together. And then Affirmative was Dolio's Block, and everybody out, in the street and able to perform together. But you'll notice that, by and large, everybody's masked and that kind of thing. And that's what's going to be happening in the videos that are coming out soon too.
That's dope.
Top of that, we so we've been experimenting with different technologies, like, we can't do a Zoom like this and actually play music at the same time because of the lag, but we could do, I record the video, you record the video, and then we'll edit that together, make it look like a Zoom, and that's, that's fine. Takes a little bit of technology to do it. But then what we ended up doing, we had a pretty cool opportunity through the State Department with this program we were going to tour with, and they ended up using some pretty advanced software that allowed us to do sort of a live show, but we're all like green screened onto a stage together. That was cool. That was sort of the most like advanced thing that we've been able to do with that.
Yeah. It was really cool, but it took revolutionary technology and a team of engineers that were monitoring the stream. And we all had to like hardwire into our internet, like with an actual cables, to make sure that we had the most minimal lag before they did all the tweaking. But with it was pretty awesome for it to have it. I know that tears were shed during the dress rehearsal. We were just like, this is the closest to being on actual stage that we've been on in a while.
Yeah. This is the date of the Town Center, John. February 22nd, something like that.
23rd.
We should have
been almost
the
a whole
1 year anniversary of our last live performance.
I know, right? We're coming up on a year, right? Jeez, dude, crazy. Like, I don't know. Does it feel like a year? Does it feel like 5 years? I don't even know.
It feels like 2,000 years.
Yeah, because we were used to just going out and hitting the road and wrecking stages. And plus 2020 was slated to be a monumental year for us.
Oh, we can't even talk about how good the year was.
With all the stuff we had booked.
Jesus.
It all evaporated just like that.
I've taken to raising a glass to myself in another dimension where none of this ever happened. So 2020 was like our real 2020. That dude had like the best year ever. So I
hit number one on the charts in that year.
Yeah, a goatee and a mustache though.
Huh?
Do you have a goatee and a mustache? Like
right.
No, he's just got like a chin strap. He looks like Jamie Lyon.
In that universe, I'm the one with the mustache.
Very.
That's the only really.
Is this where we hatch the plot to develop international travel so that we can just replace them in the better universe?
Yes,
yeah,
we are
kidnap our alternate selves and take their place.
Interdimensional travel is coming. It is powered by Gangstagrassium.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done with this portal gun I've been printing out. So.
Nice.
Right. Exactly.
What are you working on right now, man?
Man, so yeah, after I did the album cover, so the funny thing is I had a big solo show that was slated for this past summer. And literally the day they locked down everything in Chicago, just like it was real fast. I mean, obviously probably everywhere, but I had a huge fundraiser that was supposed to happen that night at this older couple's like huge house, like, just really big art supporter. And literally like people started calling like, I don't know Are you hearing about this? And the organization, the museum I was going to be at was like, well, no, I think we need you say mask and 6 feet. I was like, look, I love these two people, and I don't want them, like, I don't want my name to be associated with the depth of the you know, like the big time art supporters. They'd be like, oh yeah, every time you say Fahim's name, like, oh yeah, that was the guy who. I said, yeah, I don't think I want that. I don't want to go in their house. So, and we didn't know anything back then, but you know, after a while, we're pushing forward. I just opened up a kind of a mini retrospective at a non-for-profit gallery that I used to be the executive director of. So they asked me to come back, so by appointment only. So it's nice to show some of my older work, and then I'm prepping for that show. The show ended up working out, but that won't be until I think April or March. But I did what I'm working on basically is a lot of these kind of graphite rubbings. If you think of like a tombstone rubbing, when people take a piece of paper and they do rubbings. So I've been thinking about that as like marking the time. And I go around sometimes marking spaces that don't exist anymore. So if you think of a monument that's no longer there, then how do you work that? So do a rubbing of the ground, a way of thinking about past, present, and future. So the thing that I'm going to be displaying in this big show that I'm excited about is a rubbing of a 3-story building. The building that I'm actually doing my retrospective in, I did a rubbing of the exterior of the building. So I know that sounds weird. It's huge. The entire facade.
Wow. What's the material?
On some muslin.
Is it
so we had like cherry pickers, and we did that this past summer, and that's going to be on display at this space. They have a huge space, so that'll be on display. And no, it's usually I do things layered. So these two organizations were founded around the same time, 80 years ago, but they're neighboring neighborhoods. You know, one was predominantly black, one was predominantly white. And, you know, a lot of artists go in between these spaces, but they've never actually done anything together. So what I wanted to do was actually do a show of my work that I used in the space I used to run, and let it run right into the other show. The other show will be a rubbing of this historic space. So it's like a lot of my work is about making connections that live beyond the show. I don't want to start making people's heads spin and get too deep, but there'll be a big building inside of a building, basically.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. So
that's fantastic, man. That's really cool.
So that's what I was stewing over while I was doing your album cover. I was like, man, I don't feel like doing shit. So I was just in the basement. I was just like, I don't do nothing. And then Michael called me and pumped me up. And I was like, Fahim, you know, I really respect this guy. He's like a big hero of mine. And I was like, you know, if he had came and asked me to do anything, I probably would have done it. And I was just like, yeah, okay, why not? So, yeah, I was doing that while, we went on a little, like, vacation. Like, we rented a house out in Indiana or something. And I was just sitting there working on that. I enjoyed it, man. It was great.
Question in the Twitch feed of where the show is exactly.
Oh, the show coming up, the show right now is in Chicago at a space called Southside Community Arts Center. That's the retrospective. You can just Google that or look them up on Instagram or Facebook. You can schedule an appointment. The show with the rubbing is going to be at the Hyde Park Art Center, and that will be sometime in April. Yeah, so check that out, Hyde Park Art Center.
I drop FahimMajid.com in the chat for everybody. Is that a good?
Yeah. I'm also at I should check that website once in a while. Yeah, you can also find me Fahim Majid Studios on Facebook and Instagram. I forgot we were on Twitch. I thought we were just drinking. I gotta be careful. I've been saying stuff. I didn't even realize.
We're on Twitch and Facebook, I was like, YouTube right now.
I should actually shave and do something.
Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh damn.
Yeah, actually, on your website you can see the rubbing are there when you go to.
Oh, is the rubbing up? Okay, cool.
Your whole family's on right now. They're all watching. No, man. That's so cool thinking about the impermanence aspect. I mean, things changing on a major scale. Like we've been, I don't need to say too much about it, but I feel like we've been thinking about, the impermanence of like large, major works of art. I don't know if Delia wants to mention any of that at all, but we've been thinking about that a lot recently, and I don't know, places coming and going, people coming and going.
Well, a lot of monuments are coming down. I mean, it's a time to think about. I'm on all these monuments committees, right?
Sure.
So then I'm on a monuments committee for the city, and I'm excited to think about who gets to make monuments and why monuments have to last forever. I mean, the idea that we're looking at a monument of a person from 200 years ago when we thought differently, we acted differently, but somehow there's no contextualization of that person or thing or idea. Like we just take it and we only pull about certain things, but also moving forward. Just how we think about who gets to make monuments right now. So
and I'm sorry that Pharaoh isn't here right now because he's traveling and he wasn't able to get on for this talk. But Brian Pharaoh has actually been involved with some protests in the DC area around specifically cemeteries and old black cemeteries that have been moved or that are under threat of being moved.
Getting built over.
Construction projects where they were originally built over and then the thing was demolished and then somebody's going to build something else. But then you have to go back and say, well, hold on for a second. There's this huge burial ground here. What are you doing about that? And I think there are a lot of questions around, what are you going to build, but also just how are you even acknowledging this, this real thing that was here and is still has some powerful meaning to people today.
Yeah, I mean, even then, there's a lot of spiritual baggage attached to that. Is like, have you not seen Poltergeist?
right. Wasn't Wall Street built on a black cemetery? If I'm not mistaken, I think
it was built on a slave market.
A slave market. That's what it was. That's what.
The whole idea of impermanence and what do we choose to remember and how do you? I mean, you probably have a lot of thoughts about I think when people debate taking down a Confederate monument, there's a popular counter argument that is, well, no, we shouldn't take it down because then how would we remember, what happened?
Right.
How would we remember?
Those monuments, they weren't even that's not even something that's ancient. It's not even something that's old.
Right. That's recent.
Actually, that's something that was erected during civil rights as a means of interpretation.
And I think there's a difference between an artwork. So the question is, what's a monument and what's an artwork, right? Because then I think the issue is about freedom of speech. People try to pull that up and say, well, that's freedom of speech. Well, no, that's a public monument. A monument is different than an artwork. So fine if you don't want to destroy it or whatever, but let's put it over here in the museum or put it over here so we can think about it, research it, put it over there. But in the public, maybe we think in a different sort of way. I mean, long story short, my whole philosophy around it is that the monuments are really monuments to people and community. And I'm less in my organization, my floating museum organization, we think a lot about monuments as pedestals. So I'm less interested in a thing on the pedestal as much as creating a platform. And it's fine, we put a monument or something, that dude fucked up, let's throw that off, put someone else on that pedestal. But we should always be rotating. We should be rotating it anyway because, our ideas evolve and change over time. And maybe there's a place for kind of past monuments, where past monuments go, that you can go visit and say, man, look how we used to think back in the 1800s, how backwards that was. And here's a monument to that. But out here on Main Street, we're going to put, the monument to how we're thinking now, potentially, So that's how, I think that's what I'm excited about. But we still got all this stuff we got to deal with before we get to that. There's a lot of
Especially
stuff.
a great idea.
There's a lot of stuff. I didn't even realize in Chicago they tried. I mean, like, dude, I was so excited thinking forward. And man, when they started listing all these problematic monuments, and I started learning about like working with indigenous artists, learning about like the 200 plus nations, thinking about sovereign. I was like, dude, you're blowing my mind right now. And like, dude, this is a lot of correcting. This is a lot of whiteout that we got to do, like correcting tape. Like this, I don't even know like where to start. That sucks for whoever got to do that, but.
Whoever has to do that, I
We
don't
need a lot of input.
Yeah, you hear that? Yeah, when they call, you hear me. I was like, yeah, that sucks. That's a hard job. All right.
Yeah.
Hello.
I have bad news for you, man. I have really bad news. Because it sounds like it's you, but no, that's
Yeah, no, it ain't me. They don't pay me.
Yeah, Rick reminded me this project, I guess, that was doing big things here in Philly. It's actually still runs this art studio called Monument Lab.
Yeah. Monument Lab. We might be doing some with Monument Lab. I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of work revolving around that type of idea and what's recognized in the monument and putting it in prominent places, you know, like City Hall, and street
Mm-hmm.
those type of things.
Yeah, I love their work. It was dope. Philly's the home of murals, man. They don't nobody do murals better than Philly.
Yeah.
Don't nobody do murals better than Philly.
Yeah, my wife is a muralist, so
Oh, okay. What's up?
yeah, she doesn't have anything in Chicago yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean she's all
Yeah.
over. She's all
Got 'em
over
all
the
over
place.
there.
She's all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, send me some of her work, man. I love to see it. We got a lot of muralists in Chicago. We used to call it the home of the community muralists. So we learned about community murals, making pictures with people rather than for people. So that's,
Yeah, I just shared you the link in the chat. Yeah.
oh, dope. I'll copy that.
Do you want us to
So
tell
how
everybody
often do
else
y'all
the
do
link,
this?
Delia? Can we
Every
tell everybody
Friday.
else the link?
Friday.
Is that
Yeah.
allowed?
Every Friday?
Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to michelleangela.com if you want to see some really
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah, I'll
amazing.
drop it in the other chats too.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I got it.
she's in the Smithsonian too. I mean, there's a lot of places where you can see Michelle Angela's work.
Yeah, the Lincoln, Kennedy Center.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, murals. I mean, murals is an interesting example of something that, you know, a mural often lives on a building that is owned by somebody, and there can be a process of, you know, it doesn't necessarily stay up permanently, and sometimes that transition happens, and kind of like what you're talking about with statues coming and going, there can be a process, but it seems like what you really want is a process that has a great deal of grace and communication and respect. I mean, that probably also applies to burial grounds. It probably applies to anything that people place some amount of significance on.
Oh,
But
wow.
not always executed the best way, I guess we could say.
Yes.
Well, we can
Yeah.
take those old memorials, those old monuments, and we can put them in the desert with the old plains.
Mhm.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
That would be
Burning
bonkers.
Man.
Wouldn't it?
Can resurrect, we can
That'd be
resurrect
so
Burning Man.
bonkers.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Just like
I
a
don't know.
giant desert spot full of like Robert E. Lee mural or
I don't
statues.
so
Melt them down.
you go out there and you're on like a bad trip, and then you take a wrong turn, and you end up face to face with the entire Confederacy in statues.
I'm a
Like,
big
oh
fan.
no.
I'm a big fan of just melting them all down and making them into bedpans.
Making it in this
Although,
Yeah.
like the one that would have to be like that leads you into the whole thing is the one of is it Nathan Forrest?
Nathan Bedford Forrest.
Oh
Amazing.
my
Bedford
god, psycho! Oh my
That's the
god!
greatest statue ever. Like they were like, you know what really represents
Yeah,
real
I like-
hard.
I like
This
to believe that that's
wacko.
actually what he looked like.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
one of those
yeah.
statues.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of those statues where you want them to like light up and stuff. Just be blinking.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's actually...
It's horrific.
Oh God, is that the one with the kind of golden? But it keeps changing colors. It's like this weird golden horse.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I think
it's kind of creepy.
It's not actually changing color. It's just that it's so hideous that it induces a psychedelic state.
Like, is this really
What
happening?
is that?
What's going
What
on?
happened?
Why are the walls melting? What's going on here? I'm itching.
So weird.
Is that the one with the crazy eyes?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Everybody's
one
like,
of my
yes.
favorite things that humans have ever done.
Definitely.
Because somebody was like, "Oh no, this is amazing," and then somebody else was like, "Yeah, we're gonna make put this up here. This is gonna represent everything we stand for, right here.
Like,
Put that right there."
it's like the statue version of bad taxidermy, where it goes wrong.
That was my cousin can do that.
Bad taxidermy?
Bad
That's a
taxidermy?
cousin. My cousin's an artist. He can do that for half the cost.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got you.
Why there's so many staples?
Hilarious.
We're lunatics.
Yeah, and we are here every Friday night,
Every Friday.
hanging out
It's dope.
online.
It's dope. I meet with my crew every Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, nice.
So this is just social hour. This is social hour.
Mhm. This is
Yeah,
live
we
podcast.
meet and fight. That's all we do. We meet and fight and argue about what we're going to do next. So we don't live stream it though. We record it. So we're going to more than share.
I mean this is one of those ways that that we are able to spend time together when ordinarily we'd be out on the road and hanging out on hotel balconies and going for walks, and instead we're sitting in front of our fabulous backgrounds made by Wrench to share our conversations with folks. So that's one thing that will stick when tour eventually starts again. Basically invite people into the Gangsta van to have these conversations with us.
I feel like it's going to get crazier when we're live streaming from within the same room.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dear God.
Yeah,
What's that?
it's not
What is
probably
that?
not going to be Friday nights.
How'd you even do that? What is that? A parade?
Blowing your mind.
It just got crazy.
It is one of mine. I gotta pick up new tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Glasgow little parade.
So I teach sculpture at UIC, University of Illinois at Chicago, and I do it. My second semester of teaching sculpture, intro to sculpture, 2 sections online, 100%. It's great. Actually, these past 2 classes have been the best classes I've ever actually taught in person or not in person.
Really?
Because because the kids. Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, it's great documentation because I never actually see their artwork. I only see pictures of their artwork. In order for me to see their artwork, they have to take good pictures. So that means they spend more time. Think about that. But the funny thing is, what I do this sometime. I haven't done it with this new batch, but I end up, I'll come in and I'll do this when they come in and won't speak to it, and just like start teaching, and they're all like laughing, and then it's like when a joke gets old, so then I'll just leave it on to the point that they don't even notice it anymore, and then I end up teaching the whole class, and everyone's just moved on. But I have this like unicorn horn or bunny ears or whatever.
I gotta start doing that in my lectures.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it just after about 10-15 minutes, no one notices anymore.
That's right. That's right. I don't really have purple eyebrows.
All right, there it is. Okay, yeah. Wait, what's that?
Or
Have you had
on
that?
my head.
Okay, I was gonna say you had that on the whole time.
Yep.
That to me, that reminds me that like I feel like I work in a different medium than this. Like I'm a very good live performer. This band live is, we know all the tricks, right? We know how to command a room. We know how to get an audience to go loud, quiet, with us, everything.
Yeah.
And then you put us in this funny like, hamster wheel, and you're like, all right, do what you normally do and make it so natural. And I'm sorry, man. And what it means is you have to learn the new tricks, which you can do.
Yep.
You can figure out,
Yep.
like, okay, so if I put on a unicorn horn, it'll take 10 minutes for people to just completely forget about it, right? Cool. I can do that.
Right, exactly.
Fine. That's, you know.
But you got to go through the unicorn trials before you get it in your
Yep.
your holster.
Through it and come out the other side. Yeah.
That's right.
I like the unicorn trials. That's good.
Yeah. But no, but the class was amazing for a variety of reasons. You know, I don't take myself too seriously. It's a 100 level class, and I have like chemists. I have a couple of art majors. I have like people who are going and doing like curing cancer, you know, and things like that. And you know, I never take. You know, I try to think that ingenuity and creativity is something that everyone can use no matter what field they're in, like how to figure something out. So I think I lean into that a lot. And but yeah, last semester, especially when, like last year, when everyone kind of, because we were in person and all of a sudden everyone just was online. No one knew how to do it. And no, I had students who were frontline workers. So I'm at a state college. So a lot of the kids are first generation, you know, have various immigration issues, challenges, so all types of things. So there's just a different type of student, but just hearing them talk about working on the front lines, working in stores, still coming to school. I had several students actually get COVID and still come to class because it was an escape for them.
Oh.
You know, it was amazing watching what they could do over the course of a semester, and just actually using art to kind of as an escape. So I just told them, like, yeah, let's just, for 2.5 hours, let's just have fun, like, whatever. So no, I actually really enjoyed it. TV's Playhouse, yes.
Yeah. Now that you're 100%,
Yeah,
have you caught anybody just sending in a photo of some pre-existing sculpture?
You know, I've heard stories of that. I haven't had those issues because, like, I was that kid. Like, I was that dude. Like, that's what I would have done. So it's kind of like, I kind of start with that. Like, it's like, if you're going to hustle me, like, be good at it. Like I can appreciate a good hustle. You know what I mean? You know, so it's like, for the most part, no, I haven't had any of that. And then when I catch them, I kind of laugh at it, and they kind of get a little embarrassed. I'm like, oh yeah, your little brother did that, huh? I see him over there. And you're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, it's cool. And he's a good artist.
Ow.
So no, I don't take myself too seriously. I'm the art teacher.
Yeah.
Do you have these do y'all just have these preloaded? I got to get on my my background game.
Yeah,
like right now, I just have like, I'm an artist. I feel like I have the least amount of, like, a messed up bed in the background and like a light, like right there.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them because this is what I do to keep my students engaged.
Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, I'll throw it. Yeah, I got to throw nerdy stuff in there because I teach.
So you're teaching too? What are you teaching?
I teach object-oriented development in Java and data engineering in Python.
You said a bunch of words right there. I don't know. It's like something about a snake.
Computer stuff. Those just the song.
Yeah, you got Bernie.
Yeah.
That's the one I gotta get. That's awesome.
Got a rep.
Yeah, we could put Bernie on the No Time for Enemies cover. I think that's
That would be funny.
definitely a thing.
Yeah,
gotta sit him right there next to Pharaoh.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So, what did you think when you first heard this album you were going to make a cover for?
You know, it was a little bit of a bucket list too. I had a friend of mine just do an album cover, and I was kind of like, also like, man, I got to do an album cover. I actually ended up doing an interview with the Album Cover Museum. I don't know if y'all saw that. Did y'all see that?
I saw the thing that you wrote up,
I read it.
and it was online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so this guy has a album cover museum, and I don't know if it's like in his house, like, it's like I have a museum, and he's just like he really went nuts over some of my selections, which was hard to do, but yeah, no, it was really great doing it, but yeah, I'm definitely not. I don't think he was like, so, because he was talking to me like I was an album cover designer.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, I don't do album covers. He was like, but you did an album cover. I said, yeah, and now I've done an album cover. So now I'm going to go back to what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So he was asking all this stuff, and I was just like, yeah. I told my studio assistant, I said, yeah, tell him I don't do album covers. Like, I don't know how to break that to him, because he's asking me these really dense questions about the album cover politics and design and who gets I don't know shit. I know Gangstagrass and some OSB board, and that's what we did. But yeah. So
what about when you heard our album that you were doing the?
I gotta admit, I had a bluegrass phase for a while. I really loved bluegrass for a while, and yeah. Well, okay, so don't like poo-poo me, but when I saw Brother Where Art Thou, like that kind of pulled me into bluegrass. Like I really just like for a good, like I would like hang my shows when I was working at South back London Center, and I remember people come in and say, what is that, bluegrass? I'm like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I just really enjoy listening to bluegrass. So when I heard Gangstagrass, I was like, huh? How's that work? So no, it was really, you guys are definitely the most unique band I've ever come across. So I wasn't really up on it until I spent some time, I got approached and I started looking into the history of it. It's really kind of smart. I really enjoyed it. I mean, how did y'all come up with, whose ideas like, hey, you got a banjo and I got a mic, and yeah, that makes sense. Like, how did that happen?
That's
all what I'm going to tell people from now on, is that the banjo player and the MC just like happen to be standing next to each other, and we're like, hey, you got a banjo, I got a mic. But,
was the banjo player upside down?
One guy had a thing of bluegrass, and the other guy had a bucket of hip hop just sitting there, and then his bluegrass fell into the bucket.
That sounds like the Reese's Pieces story or something.
It's pretty good.
Yep, that's right.
It was.
Exactly. Yep. We got the upside down banjo into the hip hop.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yep.
I see that. That's awesome. Yeah. But no, I did. It was really great. I really look forward to coming and checking y'all out live when that happens.
Yeah, we'll see you at Space in Evanston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can be okay. That was on your tour date. One of your tour dates.
Yeah, that's one we've been playing. We played a few. Actually, we recorded some of our live album there.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Pocket Full of Fire. Check it out.
Oh.
Good space.
And that was on the tour that was planned for 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we always have a blast when we show up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Space is crazy, man. I was trying to tell somebody about it, how the green room is about as big as the rest of the venue.
Right.
Like, I could live in that green room.
Comfortably.
Plus like, the green room has, like, it has, like, what, 3 studios in there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got a recording studio.
Wow.
But then the green room has a wall of vinyl shelves with a stereo. And you can, like, put on records.
So they're recording albums there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're recording. They use that as a recording studio.
Yeah,
I've seen some green rooms, and I imagine
it's like a room in the back with a bunch of instruments.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine y'all have seen some pretty crappy green rooms. I went in one like green room. Like I have my cousins are a group called We Are King, and they come into town. And I was so excited. I went in the green room. I said, "Oh, the green room!" And I just kind of hit a wall, like it was like a closet. I'm like, "Okay, so where's the rest? Like, where they gonna put y'all?" They're like, "This is it. Like this is what it looked like." It was like the bottle of champagne right there, and then one couch, and they like this, waiting to go on stage. It's like, God dang.
Okay,
So
favorite
I'm gonna go back out front.
favorite crappy green room, Glasgow at the Wii venue. Remember, it was like, I mean, closet would be generous. There were kegs in there. Like there was where they
had a green
stored
room
the
in
kegs.
Glasgow.
There was like a utility sink.
Yeah, we seriously packed them in there too.
Yeah.
Actually, the green rooms at both the places we played in Glasgow were pretty pequeño.
I can't remember the other one.
The Jamaican spot.
Right.
And we are a Wii venue.
Yeah, but we packed them in there, and it was a blast of a show because Glasgow
Yeah.
goes hard for Gangstagrass.
Oh yeah.
That's how they keep you on stage. They be like, "No, we don't want to go back in the green room. We want to stay out here."
Good plan.
Wait, was that was the same night our fiddle player got kidnapped?
I think once we go back to it, you can't keep
was.
us off stage. honestly.
Kidnapping is the word for it.
Right. Yeah.
Our fiddle player got distracted. That's what it was.
Yeah, distracted.
We were so nervous
That's
that we were
funny.
never gonna see him again.
Oh my
He was
god!
the only person that turned up missing. My homie,
Right. Jesus.
disappeared for like a couple days.
Couple days.
Yeah, like
Days?
yeah, his peeps were looking for him the next day. They was calling. We were already in the next city, and I was getting phone calls like, "Yo, have you seen Manny?" I was like, "Yo, no."
It was scary.
Wow. Was that like a fun kidnapping? Like or like a kidnapping? Like I don't remember the last.
It was I guess fun for them. It wasn't fun
Okay.
for people that needed to know where.
Yeah, people looking for. That's funny.
I miss the brown couches of green rooms.
Yeah, 99% of green rooms have brown leather couches.
And
They
100% of
can
those
hide all
couches, 100% of those couches have had our son on the couch
Taking the
a selfie.
picture of the brown couch.
Yeah,
On the brown couch.
Brown
That's his
Couch
thing,
Chronicles.
green room couches.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
a great coffee table book.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
Imagine there's a reason for that they're brown, like high traffic carpet.
All right.
Right.
Well, 'cause, like,
Right.
'cause, yeah,
40% of
like
those
a black
couches were
couch
once
would show
white.
stains. The other ones would show stains. With brown ones, you kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
And the stains would be like,
It's like movie theater carpet.
yeah, just spill as many drinks on it as you want.
Yeah,
It's not
drinks. Yes.
Quick shout out to Wrench's gingerbread Fermi lab over there. See how accurate he was?
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Got competing Fermilabs here, the hand sleeves and me, but I was part of a gingerbread house making competition this Christmas.
Okay.
I went with the gingerbread Fermilab.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's not what mine looked like. No, it's yeah.
You're not far from Fermilab, actually.
Yeah.
You should check it out if you haven't been. It's
No, I haven't been.
Batavia, Illinois.
Mhm.
So it's a
Thank you.
pretty
Yeah,
short little
it's right
drive over there.
Not far.
You said Fermi Lab?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fermilab.
Yeah. After.
They got a huge underground.
Like
park
Enrico
outside.
Fermi?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
that's the one.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm near the University of Chicago, so Enrique Fermi comes up a lot around here.
Apparently,
Yeah.
our
This
son
is-
is in the Facebook chat right now, calling us all nerds.
We are for sure a bunch of nerds.
You act like that's an insult.
That's Randy is calling us.
No,
nerds in the
not an
basement.
insult.
Yeah.
Why did you make a? But yeah, I guess that's a good. Yeah, I'm opening it up. That is that like a trap to ask? Like, why did you make a gingerbread house of this very specific?
Because we're nerds.
Yeah, that's
I'm a nerd.
that's-
So we've been to tour Fermilab a few times, and it's just very cool. So I wanted to make a gingerbread representation of a recognizable architectural thing, and that Fermilab building is pretty iconic to a few people.
oh,
Not too
it
widespread.
has a particle accelerator.
Yes.
I have seen this. Why did I think this was science fiction? I didn't realize it was real.
It's
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic.
Jesus.
It is.
Okay. That's dope. Now I got to go on a little road trip at some point.
Yeah.
A very little road trip. It really is quite close. Quite
Yeah.
close.
So y'all been to Chicago a lot?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some kinfolk out there, so
Okay.
Yeah,
We
Chicago's
used to
great.
perform. We were downtown at the Old Town School of Folk Music. You know.
Yeah.
So we performed there a
times.
couple of times, but we've been out to space in Evanston like a handful of times now, and that's really kind of a good home for us out there. I got family out there too that I visit with. Yeah, it's great. It's a great spot. Some of our best interviews have been there too.
Wait a minute. That was our son just called us nerds on the
Yes.
chat.
Yeah,
Is he supposed to be here?
yeah, he's shit talking from
Why
the
is he
chat.
jumping out on our live stream to heckle us from the chat?
He hopped into the audience like we do, like he does in the show.
snuck into the audience.
He's got that wireless mic. Brady, you gotta come back here, man. I'm still doing the show, man.
Wait, hold up. I'm about to switch my background to one of my favorite picks from the our Chicago adventures here.
Oh boy.
Hold up. Where is it? Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. Where is it?
Oh man.
In the meantime, we'll
Yeah.
do Wrench getting arrested in front of the White House. One of my personal favorites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Wrench is about it. If you don't know, like Wrench has been arrested a number of times in organized protest actions.
Wrench, were you down there at the Black Lives Matter march
There we
recently?
go.
That you?
I wasn't at that one. I wasn't that one. Since lockdown, I haven't gone out as much, but went to some that were in New York.
Yeah, sleeves.
Oh, okay.
I was
Is that Bozo?
Tripping over
Yes,
the
it is.
giant Dolio and Bozo faces.
Yeah, that's right. We've a few times in Chicago. We've played at what's the station?
WGN. WGN.
WGN. Wait,
Yeah, WGN.
Oh,
at the
WGN.
Tower. And that's the
Hold
home
Oh, this
of-
is the
Bozo the Clown.
yeah, right, Bozo the Clown. Yeah.
that's not all though.
Oh wow,
What we also did.
Uh-oh.
that was some time ago. Are they still? They're not still doing Bozo the Clown.
No,
but
no,
they,
but
they have a mural
Yeah.
inside. The,
Inside the
Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, you were on the. I
No,
thought you were on the Bozo the Clown. So I was like,
that would be awesome. Oh, please.
that would be.
Bring
I
the
was
show
like,
back
that's-
just to be on it.
That's our goal, man. Now that we've done Nardwar the Human
Yeah,
Survey,
Bozo.
now we got to do Bozo.
right?
When you're in the WGN studios, they've got Bozo stuff all over the place.
Hold up. Let me show.
Oh yeah,
This is
that's
really.
funny.
I think that's crazy.
Time
I
in
can't
Atlanta,
get the thing to come up.
we went on Adult Swim. We went
Fish
to their
Center.
headquarters
Oh.
down there, and
Oh, that's funny.
they got all sorts of wild stuff. I took a picture next to a life-size statue of Toe Jam from Toe Jam and Earl, that old video game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, super nerds.
We stayed there so long, I thought I was going to have to cancel our hotel reservation.
Hey, wait here. Well,
We
here's
seriously
another
almost
thing
spent
that
the
we
night
tend
at
to
Adult
do.
Swim.
We like to do when we go is we go in and we invade wherever they're doing the news.
All right.
Did you just walk on? You just walked onto the news?
You know it.
That's
Wait.
funny. They're trying to be cool about it though, but it's like you're not in the right angle. Like
Oh, you can
they're
see
trying to keep their angle.
Hold up, hold
under
up.
the desk. They're pushing the panic button.
Yeah,
like,
wait for it. Right, you can see her reaching under.
Wait, hold up.
Yep. Give it to us. This is a great shot.
That's hilarious.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, sometimes,
wow.
and most of the times, Wrench will take over the weather.
Oh, Wrench does the
His
best
weather
weather
report.
reports.
Yeah, he just makes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He'll get in front of the green screen and just run with it.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun on the daytime TV shows. A lot of our stories are from that. Like one of my favorite things is like we'll be on a segment. You know how it's like daytime TV. They're like, all right, and studies show that like more and more people, and always the thing that they do right before they introduce us is something like scatological and
Something
just
involving fecal
disgusting.
matter.
No, that's just that one place in Texas.
No,
Oh,
okay,
no.
well, it is.
No.
It's
That's
been a lot.
happened in
It's
Nashville.
been a lot. It's
That's
the
happened in
Lexington place
Knoxville,
does it a couple
Lexington,
times.
yep.
Like one guy was on there, it's like, here's how to spot the symptoms of E. coli, and now Gangstagrass. And
No,
or like,
the
my
family
favorite
towel.
one was the one about the family cloth.
yeah, more people are wiping their ass with a reusable piece of fabric, and now Gangstagrass.
and then the very next time we ended up going there, there was like some racial incident that had happened, I guess, before we had gotten there.
So what had happened?
Like the opener.
With the
and
news
we're
anchor.
saying we're in the green room waiting for them to announce, and we're watching what's going on. We're like, wait a minute. We just noticed, why is this guy sweating so much?
Yeah. So we turned up the sound, and we're watching, and he's on there, and he's got like a black co-anchor next to him at this desk, and you realize that you're watching like it's like the absolution desk. He's sitting there and he's just like talking about his childhood and growing up and like how he had like black friends and stuff, and I'm just like, oh no, he's talking about black friends. This is, I don't know what he did. I'm looking it up. I'm Googling.
This is supposed to be.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
And now, Gangstagrass. Yeah.
And then we went on and we performed.
That's hilarious. That's like saying yes. And 5-year-old Jenny finally passed down in the well, and it's a sad, sad day. And Gangstagrass, take it away.
Exactly.
We've been there.
Yes. In the well.
This one's for Jenny.
We should do a song about Jimmy down in the well, I think.
Jimmy down in the well.
That'd be good. That'd be good for us, I think.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we miss it. You know, you don't get that. You don't get that when you're doing, you know, a local news hit from Zoom far away.
Yeah, a lot of interviews these days. I think Zoom has answered the question of how can you be in two places at one time. So it's like I've heard three different Zooms going at the same time.
Love that. That is one of my favorite things. And I'll just mute whichever ones are not interesting.
Right. You know, it's just like, damn, like you can just be everywhere. And then I'm still late. Still late.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, less late. Usually less late.
Yeah. But you can still tell people you got stuck in traffic.
Yeah, right. So you blame it on your kids or your cat or whatever. Oh yeah, Wi-Fi. It's like, yeah, things are happening. I can't.
Traffic from the bedroom to the living room was like.
Oh, damn.
So what are you going to do with the next year that you're staying at home?
Well, I've actually been getting out a little more. Just by myself, I'm working. We're working on for my collective, my floating museum collective. We're probably going to be getting a building soon. I didn't really talk much about that aspect of my life, but I have a co-director. I guess it's our band, our version of a band, but we call Floating Museum, and we think about the city as a museum and the neighborhoods as galleries. So the whole idea is to not really have a space and have to navigate the communities that we're in and figure out how to negotiate space. So we do it in the space versus bringing things to a space. We do it with, not for. But the problem with that is we've done some pretty big things. We floated a 100-foot barge down the Chicago River.
Dope.
We did performances on trains. We have street signs. We have all these things. And our basements are kind of filled to capacity. So what we realized we needed was a little bit of rehearsal space. So we are getting
a basement.
Got a 100-foot train. Yeah, barge in your basement.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you'd be surprised. It's all about packing and stacked like Tetris. It's just ridiculous. But no, we're looking at a space to rehearse, not a public space, but a place just to make art, make music, do whatever. And that's, as odd as it sounds in these times, I mean, yeah, we need space to make. Y'all probably realize it. Like here, you talk about being like converging. It's like
Yeah.
You know, the ability to converge somewhere and make space, or make art, music. It's needed. So we've kind of moved beyond not having a building. So fingers crossed, it's looking like we're going to close on something soon. So next time y'all can come down to the Florida Museum rehearsal space and check us out.
Do a little pop-up show.
That sounds great. That's
Yeah,
not odd
yeah.
at all. I mean, that makes total sense. I think people are realizing like you don't have to be, if you're not commuting to a job, you don't have to be near your job, but like then you reevaluate, like you stuck in your home all the time. Is your home,
That's right.
is it doing what you need it to do? Because if not, like figure that out. You probably need some kind of space for something.
Man, I was stitching together that piece I told you about of the side of the building. Now it's covered in graphite. It's like, you know, and I sealed it. I thought I sealed it. You know, my team thought we sealed it, but we just got a kitten or a cat, and the cat's all over the place. And I started noticing black paw prints all over the house. Because I've been in the basement stitching, like, I mean, these long, like in like maybe like a 10-foot space, and stitching a building together, like, you know, just like, because you had to kind of think in layers. So the graphite and stuff was getting on the floor and getting sucked into the vents. So it's everywhere. And my wife started noticing, like, because you can't see it until you rub your finger, and you're like, why is it black? Why are there footprints on the toilet seat? Like, what? And I said, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm loving the cat footprints as art.
It's on everything. So
I would go to see the cat footprint exhibit, just for the record.
It's an installation.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's all over. It's all over. The cat gets into everything. So at least I know where she is. A lot of cleaning. So that's all I've been doing is just like scrubbing down surfaces. Now that I'm done, I'm slowly making my way up. And the graphite got into everything, every crack of the book, just you got to go through. It's everywhere, but you can't see it until you rub your finger over it, and then it's on everything.
How do you even clean graphite? I feel like that's something you try to rub it off and it just rubs in.
Soap and water and vacuum. Yeah, it's just.
You know,
and if you rub it wrong, it'll streak. Right. Yeah, that'd be the worst.
Get the big fat art gum eraser.
That'd be the worst. That stuff is horrible. I hate that. I hate those things.
Then you got little rubber snakes all over.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's the worst. I hate that stuff, man. God. Yeah, so no more. I can't do that in my house anymore. I gotta get the quality facility. So yeah. Gotta get my own green room.
I think Sleeve is bugging out because my background is the view from her office.
I was like, it was like, what is happening over there?
He's like, wait a minute. Where? That's a view from the window of her office.
That's so weird.
in DC.
Sleeves' background is the view from my office.
Right.
Show me what you got.
Banjo's background is the view from my office.
That's actually true. That's totally
and
true.
Wrench's background is the view from Fahim's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what's up?
The cat going in the background, putting paw prints everywhere.
I feel like we do need some cats floating across the screen at this point.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. They'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I think the coconut flavor with the coconut scented with mango flavors only appear when Randy's in the room.
Oh, it's true.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
All right, but it's been a good hangout.
Yeah, good seeing y'all.
Yeah.
Look forward to do it again. And I'll send y'all an invite. I'll send y'all some stuff.
Cool. I'm so happy that it worked out for you to jump in with us tonight and hang out a little bit. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, man.
Just talk about the album cover and just all the amazing stuff that you're working on, and we're looking forward to seeing all that.
Definitely look forward to it.
If you ever find yourself in Philly, look us up.
Well, we are working on something with, is it Monument Lab? It might be Monument Lab. I forget. There's the organization that does a lot of the outdoor art and murals. I forget the name of the organization.
Mural Arts program.
Yeah, Mural Arts. So they approached us about us doing a citywide, potentially funding a citywide initiative there in Philly. So we have some connection. My brother lives in Philly, actually. So yeah. So yeah, we might be coming out there.
All right. So if that's the case, we probably will link up then.
Yeah, we got collab. We're all about the collab.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, that's great. And again, it's Fahim Majid Studios, you said, on Facebook
Yep.
and Instagram.
Fahim Majid Studios.
Majid.com.
Hmm.
Yeah, check out the graphite work.
Yeah, that's coming. Well, yeah, so I gotta update my website. I don't do a decent job. I gotta do better.
Do better. Danjo's favorite
Do
song
better.
from No
Do
Time for
better.
Enemies.
Do better. All right, y'all.
All right.
All right, y'all have a great weekend.
All
Yep.
right.
Thank you,
Well,
Fahim.
All right, peace.
See ya.
All right.
And it's probably about that time to say goodbye to the Facebook feed and the
That's
YouTube
right.
feed.
Gonna jump over
And then
to
we can
Twitch
get real grimy.
for
Thank
the
everybody
after
for
show.
hanging out with us. Another Friday night hangout. We're here every Friday night. And then Tuesday nights, we got our son doing a stream. And Saturday dance parties at 3 p.m. Eastern. Dolio or Wrench or Sleeves rocking some DJ and stuff and whatnot. And then potentially we'll be starting up some Wednesday stuff with Danjo.
Yeah, Danjo did one already. It was really great. And of course, we have Gritty in a suit, and you can't argue with that.
Don't argue with that because you don't know what's gonna happen to you.
Never know
Right.
what Gritty might do. So yeah, we're gonna get Gritty over on the Twitch, and if you are on the Facebook or on the YouTube, join us at gangstagrass.tv. Hop on over for the after show. All right, and for the Twitch folks, you will continue to be here with us. And bye, Facebook.